I had the dream to make some like powerful orchestral music and stuff like this, and then it's encouraged me to push further and to improve and yeah, the Brony fandom really contributed a lot to where I am to nowadays, and I'm really grateful for that.
Like with me, it was really simple. So like I grew up surrounded by music of all sorts, because like my father is a musician, and as a child I was very obsessed with horses, like all kinds of horses.
Perfect.
And so later I discovered that I can make my own music, which is like really it's very interesting when you realize that like, wait, I can make my own thing and it sounds pretty decent. And then I discovered that, oh wait, you can make a horse music and it will be appreciated. So I guess that's how I ended here.
For me, I was making music my whole life. Since I was a baby, my parents are very into music. So I've learned drums for a while, been playing in bands, all that. And someday, one of my online friends showed me lo-fi. I was like, oh yeah, that's really good. And I was listening to lo-fi every night to sleep for at least a year, without skipping one day. And then I was like, lo-fi sounds kind of easy to make, so why not trying to make it? And so I started making lo-fi and trap beats. And I then discovered the fandom with the music from the fandom, with, of course, AJ over there. Classics in electronic music like Digit, Bang Pain, Haiti, and all that. And yeah, that made me like realize that I wanted to do like production, music production, and not just like lo-fi. I mean, it is music production, but I just wanted to make whatever I wanted, and started making like remixes of pony music and all that. So yeah, that's basically how I started.
Great, thank you all for answering. And I would love to continue this moment of traveling in the past by asking you, what do you think today of the very first piece or pieces you published? What was that? Okay, mine works. What about...
It's this one. It's this one.
Just use that mic and start at that end. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that's better. You can go as well. Yeah, sure. The mic is off. I'm repeating the question. We are continuing this traveling in the past by asking you, what was your, like, if you go back in time and look at what your very first things and songs you published, what do you think now about those?
I hate it. I really do.
I was kind of expecting that. Okay, why? Why do you hate it?
When you make music, you learn every time.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you produce, you will learn something new. And after a few years, you realize, oh yeah, I could have done that way better. And that kind of like, it's not really hating, but it's more like, it's not great, could have been way better, but at the same time, it was the start. So yeah, it's not a bad hate, it's actually a good hate.
Well, by published pieces, if you mean the published pieces in the fandom, then I got really lucky with collaborators.
Mm-hmm.
So my first pieces in the fandom were pretty decent.
Okay.
Well, and actually, I want to share a story that once, while making an album, we asked a sound engineer who was helping us with the recording, "Is there a way to make an album that you will not hate a year later?" And he said, "There is no way to do that
No.
because you improve all the time."
Okay, thank you.
Well, the first music I released, it was I think about 15 years ago. With I wasn't at all into pony music at that time, and it was like with an old project that was called Mana Walker. But it was. But it like I had a lot of fun doing this. It was kind of some like electro rock stuff with some weird synth sounds and stuff, but it was very, very poorly produced because I just didn't put the effort. And when I hear it, sometimes I like to listen to it, and I'm like, oh gosh, that was like, to me that sounds so bad. But at the same time, it's like it's the start, so it's like. I'm attached to it, even if it sounds like crap. I kind of like it. And in the fandom, it was in 2016. I made a remix of the song "Bat," and it's still on my YouTube channel. Actually, I didn't erase anything. It's still there. If anyone is curious, but it's very different from what I do today.
Good to know.
Um,
Yeah. I guess we're using that.
it will be better, yeah. As for me, for the very first violin cover I did, it was a Rainbow Factory one. I remember the video is pretty cringe, kind of. And the violin play is, not that good. And also, it was a studying violin, so the sound of the violin itself was bad. But I kept the video on YouTube, actually, because as 12 was saying, it's like a sign of progress. So it's very interesting to see back in the days how we were and how we are now. So I do let it on YouTube just for people to appreciate some stuff. And as far as the very first music I composed, it's actually not released on YouTube. Yeah.
Secrets here.
So probably, maybe I could release it at some point in an album as a secret track or something, maybe.
The unreleased.
Yeah, definitely. So the first music is not released, and but when I listen to it, it's actually a catchy song. It's very simple, basic, but it's catchy. So maybe sometime.
Thank you.
I would just really do it that I also have much older things that are never been released.
Yeah, that's the musician's secret.
Exactly.
I have a few old pieces on my channel from when I was a teenager, and a lot of them really haven't aged well when I look forward to the stuff I've been producing today. But it's just a sign of like growth, basically. Like, no matter how far you go, like, it's all a sign of the past. But there's a couple old pieces I made, like one of which called Transformation, when I was like 16. It's on my SoundCloud. It's not even on YouTube. I'm not even trying to promote my SoundCloud. It just happens. But I'm looking back on it, and the production isn't amazing. I didn't know what song structure really was. I didn't even own a bass guitar, mind you. So I had to use a sampled bass. But at the same, things change. I just kept chipping away, and I'm not a fan of it when I look back, but if I didn't start there, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that goes out to anyone who's starting out. Just keep going. You'll do great.
Does this work now? Womp womp. Womp womp womp. Womp
Wah, wah.
womp. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. It's on. It's on. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow.
Intermission.
Oh, hello. Yay.
There we go. We have audio.
Woo. I'm just gonna basically be parroting the same thing everyone else said. My first song, it was okay. The writing is meh. the lyrics are bad, the production is bad, but apart from that, it's fine. That's pretty bad. I think everyone feels the same about their first song, but yeah, there's progression or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't think most musicians are really fond of their first pieces, but I think it's stepping stones for where to the final, like, not the final, but where you get to in the end, basically. Like, I definitely wouldn't promote my older music, but I don't hate it. I just know that it helped me get to where I am now. So, like, yeah, stepping stones, basically.
Well, I'm afraid I must be a contrarian because I wrote my first song in 2022, and my dad helped me get a studio to make it. And so I was very ashamed of ponies, of course, so I didn't make it about ponies, even though it secretly was. It was just about sailing. It was kind of generic, and I love it. I still love it to this day. It's still catchy, and it's still pretty, you know, that's what I did it for. And then my second song that I ever wrote is super dorky, and to this day, it's like I'm going to play it next week at Encore, and it's a pirate song about how hard it is to be an earth pony. Mm-hmm. And it's one of my favorites to this day. And I feel like I've improved in mixing and a little bit in songwriting, but like I don't feel like the 30 or so songs since then, none of them are more valuable than the others. Maybe I wrote songs for a certain person. Maybe I wrote them about a certain character I'm more fond of. But they're all really special to me. They're like my children. The other thing I wanted to add about learning things, because we all talked about learning things, is, you know, early on I made a song that did very poorly. It got like 100 or so views on YouTube, which is pretty good for early on, really. But I sang it around like this level. I sang it kind of low because I didn't know anything about register. I later remade it at the beginning of 2024, and all I did was change the key up to here. I changed it around this level, which is a much better range for singing. And it took off. It got like 2,000 views. So that's just some things, or some improvements are really simple.
Thank you.
I would like to add something.
Oh, of course.
Because as you could hear, except for Strack, all the musicians kind of think that their first song is bad. So it's also an encouragement for people who wants to start music to do it, because anyways, you will feel bad about it at first, but then it's all a journey and a progress. So I encourage you to do that if you feel like you want to do music.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. That is very, very precious for anybody who wants to start, or for anybody who's watching us from Twitch, YouTube, who maybe are musicians who already embarked on their journey, speaking about parrots, and they want to do their best, but maybe somebody is pretty insecure and they need to hear somebody saying this. So thank you very much. From the past, now we jump to an alternate universe. Let's play this little game with you. We're jumping to an alternate universe in which the music genre you play the most and you make music about, now it's gone. On what genre are you moving on? Yeah, anybody. You can. Okay, good.
Well, without pirate music, I think that pirates would not grow to the popularity they're at. So I think EponaFest would have a different theme, personally. But no, I mean, my two main genres are rock and, you know, folk, shanty, pirate stuff. I honestly think that it was very much a passion for, one, doing something very unique. There's not a lot of pirate music in the fandom, and to be fair, how many people out there can you say are a huge fan of ponies and pirates? Like, it's kind of a niche thing. I don't think I'd have a good answer for what I would do instead, but I'd always liked to try to get into metal. I just feel like I've lacked the prowess on instruments because I'm kind of just okay at like all the instruments, and to play metal you need to be really good at everything. So good job, guys. Good job. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard one. Since like metal and rock was like my introduction to like music overall, but I feel like without my current genre, I've always liked pop music in a way because of the production, making like catchy melodies and like. Thank you. Just yep, it's true. But yeah, I mean, yeah, probably pop music just because I like to focus a lot on the music production side of like a composition and stuff, and it's super involved with that. So yeah, so probably I would probably dabble in that, to be honest.
I'll probably do like a heavier EDM, like or like a dubstep thing, just because it's kind of a similar level of aggression in the music. I think it kind of fits what I want. So that would probably be it. Apart from that, I'm pop music for when I'm like happy. Sometimes.
So if metal didn't exist, I'd probably be out of a job.
What a sad universe.
But alternatively, I'd probably get into like a different style of like electronic music, like either hip hop, because something I like about hip hop is that you can get across like certain types of emotions in ways you can't really express in rock music, especially when we're talking about clever rhymes, clever punch lines and stuff like that. Or maybe I could just do like some kind of dance music, not necessarily dubstep or whatever's popular today, but the kind of stuff you'd hear in like a Dance Dance Revolution game. I don't know, that music's really good.
Actually, it's an easy question and a hard question at the same time, because I'm doing every genre. Like I can do pony lo-fi, pirate music, electronic, metal. So
No, in this universe, not every single genre is deleted. So
so yeah, as for me, I can do every genres. I would say maybe I'm specialist more in orchestral and EDM songs, so maybe something more interesting or experimental could be interesting.
So, right now I'm definitely into orchestral, but like it's a journey that I see where it will go. The thing is that when I was a teen, I started doing some prog rock, and then I switched to symphonic metal when I was in high school with a band. Then I did some grunge music, and then I switched to some electro rock. So it was pretty wide, and then I ended up into orchestral, and then I would like to go like heavier in my style. Now I'm more into like pop orchestral, something like that, with some singing, which is totally new to me. And I want to go towards. Orchestral music is still the core for me, but I would like to get it a bit heavier, and I would like to make something like hybrid with like orchestral, synthwave, and metal blended together. That's what I'm aiming for my future albums.
Primarily I work in 3 genres. It was very hard to get it down to just 3. So like it's symphonic metal, it's pop, or it's folk. So if symphonic metal disappears, I switch to the 2 of them. So like if all 3 suddenly disappear, then I guess I will have no choice but to become a proper opera singer.
well, good.
To me, it's kind of like Coron, because I like to experiment in a lot of genres. So, but I've had my past with the metal band, so I would have either maybe be in like a post-hardcore band, or I don't know, making dubstep, or I don't know, it could be folk too. Anything. I think. I think that if the genre I make, like drum and bass, if it disappears, first I'll be really sad. But if it disappears, I'll always find something else. And if it disappears, I'll find something else. And I'll always find something else.
You'll always find something else.
Exactly.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, now we traveled in the past. We traveled to an alternate universe that, don't worry, it does not exist. This alternate universe is not real, and it will never be real. Let's go back to the present. Finally, we're back here in the present 2025, like EponaFest, and I want to ask you something about more the making of a track, of a song. What is the part, the phase you prefer the most while writing your own piece or writing pieces with friends and other colleagues, like lyrics writing or mixing? What's the thing you like the most? We can start from here. Yes, no problem. Yeah.
I don't mind going first most of the time as long as I've kind of got an answer ready. Okay. So a couple of my favorite things, you mentioned collaboration, and I love working with other people, especially when we got to do like Into Ships, and we wrote those lyrics out at a cider fest. That was so fun. Writing lyrics is definitely one of my favorite parts. I think my favorite part of the writing process is once you record that first line of vocals, maybe record the harmonies too, and get them all tuned, and they're like, and you've basically laid down now the base of the song, the most of the backing track, most of like the instruments, and enough of the vocals, and you first hear it back, and you're like, oh yeah, oh we've got something here, and that happens to me. It happens to me once in a while, not with every song, but like. I'll hear it and I'll go, oh yeah, this was a good idea. Because a lot of the time I'll think of something, I'll be like, this is stupid. No one's going to think this is funny. No one's going to think this is catchy. And then I hear it and I go.
So for me, I feel like my first answer would be like the music production of it. So like trying to find good like cool things to add to it. But really, I think the best part for me is when something clicks, like a chorus. Like when I write a chorus and it actually like sounds good to me, I'm like, that is like the best feeling in the world for me, because once you get like a good chorus, the song's not really sealed yet, but it's a really good start and a really good ground for the rest of the song. So yeah, so probably getting like a really good catchy chorus is my favorite part of the writing process.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Running the chorus in my songs is usually the first thing I'll do. It's a solid foundation. It's a good place to go from. But for my favorite thing is probably production and lyric writing. Production's super fun because you can block out a song that's pretty kind of basic, and then you can really make it something different and unique from there with production, like, you know, cutting parts here, adding extra parts here, or like making a transition longer here or something. And lyric writing is super fun. I'm very involved with lyric writing. I take a long time, and I really like doing it, and it's tough sometimes, but I also really enjoy it. Shut up. But yeah, that's about it for me.
I'd say for me, my favorite bit about making music is writing and production. Usually, the first thing that comes to my mind is a riff. I'll jot it down with a guitar. I'll record it, and then I'll write a song around that usually. But when it comes to production, it's more about the end result than the actual journey of it, because I always end up chipping away at bits of the song, and sometimes it just really clicks, but otherwise it takes me a long time to get there. But at the end of the day, I have a finished product, a finished song that I can look at and think, wow, I made this. And I think that's a pretty universal experience for a lot of musicians, really.
As for me, I know what I hate the most. It's the mixing part. Sometimes it takes very, very long hours. Like, I remember for Dark Things, I think it took me like about 300 hours to get something decent. But the part I think I love the most for when I'm doing my own music is like music composition, especially the melodies. Finding the melodies, something that is actually resonating with me, that is catchy for the others, and yeah, the melody part is really important to me. But I love the whole process, but I think it's my favorite one. And but this is when I do my own music, because when I'm doing collabs with I think almost all people in here, I really love the process of having sending the music, then you get something back, and then you have brand new things that gives you even more ideas, and it's like an exchange all the time, and I really love that process.
Well, I like the very, very first step. Usually, like I start writing a story, and setting up a kind of a universe, and that's what I like. One of the things I like the most, and then I just pull out the music that comes in my head while writing the story with just simple piano sketch with the whole structure and just chords and melodies. And then it comes my very favorite part is when I start to orchestrate. Like I start taking from the piano sketch. I'm like, okay, this melody is going to be played by, I don't know, some French horns or doubled with violins and so on. And that's where like suddenly things start sounding like I imagined. And also in this process, what I love the most is that there are some happy little accidents, some things that like I record on my keyboard and suddenly I don't know, I don't play it the way it was intended and it sounds so much better and like, wow, so cool. And then in this process, like as I go through the whole song, every time I listen to what I've done, it sounds better and better, and every time I'm like, I want to hear what's coming next, so I need to keep composing. Yeah, and then then I love after that the editing part because it's like it's pretty repetitive work, but I like it because I can do it while watching Netflix, and because the only thing I regret with working on music is that most of the time you cannot work on music while listening to something else. And yeah, and then the mixing part is the existential crisis part for me. So yeah. And then when this part is done, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, it's done.
Well, usually at first I just so like I come up with some kind of a melody, then I harmonize it using my harp. So yeah, all the songs are beginning as a vocal and a harp part, and then maybe at some points come along lyrics, and I love the moment when all three parts come together, when I finally see the song draft coming together, and oh my gosh, sometimes I get obsessed for weeks with that result. And then from that I can already see something promising and I can move on to something else, or I know just the right person to collab with on this song.
You picture it and you say,
Yes,
that's the one.
Like I have all the instrumentation in my head, and I need to find someone who will understand my vision.
Yeah, and helping you letting everything
Yes.
out.
Yes, since I cannot do everything by myself, like sure I can play a lot of instruments, but like not on a level that I find acceptable.
Good.
Most producers, like especially electronic music producers, hate mixing and mastering, but that's one of my favorite part.
Really?
Because people spend like 300 hours. When I spend 3 hours on it, I don't know why, but I do it really fast, and I am enjoying it while I do it. Maybe that's why. Maybe because I don't deal with live instruments. Maybe. Is it? Well, but yeah, I think my favorite part about music production is music production. Because I just sit in my chair and get in the correct state of mind and be like, okay, what am I going to do today? And just F around in the DAW and just whatever comes. And if it's good, then I release it. If it's bad, then maybe I keep it. And I mean, I'll always keep it. I keep it, wait a bit, listen to it a few days, then maybe get some ideas, or like people said before, collabing, asking, hey, I have this thing, you want to collab with me? And then getting the thing back brings even more ideas that I didn't get in the beginning. So it's just the whole process of the whole music production that I love. So there's not... I think the thing I like the least maybe is like when you have a creative block and you have to be creative, but that's the only thing.
Thank you very much. And now I really want to hear from each and any one of you. Fun story of the songs behind the scenes. Something you remember and you just laugh out of it. Okay, who's gonna go first? Oh, you have to think. Okay, it's good. Yeah, of course you can go. Carl.
Okay. Yeah, most I think funny one is like when you're doing some kind of weird remix. Like for example, I don't know if some people went to Europa Park or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I did a kind of blend remix of Hypa and you're a star in Europa Park, and that was laughing my ass off doing this thing.
Please tell me this thing is online.
It's online. You have like a Rainbow Dash on it in the background and
Perfect.
the Euromir thing.
Perfect. We need to watch it.
Well, I think I have a lot of funny stories, but most of them are about when something during the recording process didn't go as intended.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to come up with a solution how to deal with the outcome.
For example?
So, like, for example, there is an EP that's called Casting Shadows, and on one track there is an effect that is simulating the old record.
Mm-hmm.
That happened because unfortunately the harp recording was too noisy and we could not do anything about it. So yeah, it's in the end it turned out really cool.
Well, that was a smart solution to a problem.
Well, yeah, and like also we had a story of how we were trying to make a song in time for the deadline, and like I think it was the year 2019, and we were at Equestria at that point.
Yeah.
And so like we were mixing the song, and at some point we realized that the guitar is all wrong, and it's an acoustic guitar.
Oh no.
Well, what we did was that we borrowed a guitar from Jemis, and we borrowed, and luckily the neighbor of Jemis had a microphone.
Oh.
So it's like it literally was, hey guy, do you have a microphone by any chance?
It was like a survival moment.
Yes. And it worked.
Minecraft Guitar Edition.
Yes, it worked, and it got on PhD. This was released. I think the song was Convergent Evolution that came on. Which album came in 2019? Was it Eternal? Skyward. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember which album it was because like there are so many PhD albums at that point that.
A huge library.
Yeah, a huge library, but the year is 2019.
Okay, good. Some other stories you have to share? Blacknet, you're going to? Perfect.
Okay.
Then we're going with you, 12.
Okay. So about a year ago, I did a song with a friend called Salika Soul Dream called Once More. Once I was done writing the music for it, she sent in her vocal guide tracks to work with, which is what I was basically working on. So I finished the song, sent the guide track version over to her, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. She liked it. And then she sent in her final vocal tracks. Once I got done mixing, like, I was right at the end of the mixing process when I was listening to like how they all came together at the end, and I legitimately got goosebumps one time. So I thought that was just a really good positive story about vocal mixing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And now 12?
It's a really short story, but one day I was just chatting with Haiti and saying like, hey, you want to come over? He's like from Switzerland, I'm in Belgium. He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna drive and come over by car." Okay, whatever. And he came over, and then we just tried to make music. Didn't work. Then we went to a record shop for like checking for vinyls or whatever.
Okay.
And he told me, just look at covers and take the one that you like the most visually, and I'll listen and see if we can sample something from it.
Oh.
And we found a few. He bought a few vinyls. We got home. He recorded it and actually started sampling the song and everything. And then he sent me the stems that he made on the MPC, and then sent me, so I go on the computer and start working on it. And we had a blast. It was really fun working with him, just because we had different ideas. He used different software, the different hardware even, and it
And
just turned
also
out
the
so
different
well.
styles could be also different
Yeah.
styles.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it was just amazing to work with him. Yeah.
So nice to hear. Does anybody has other stories to share?
What was you're asking, is there like something that was like an accident but was good, right?
It
Something like
could be both an accident in the behind the scenes or a fun story, like something that made you so happy and so joyful about what you were doing. Could be both. And if you have both, it's better.
Okay. Well, me and Black and Biscuit and 12 tried to make a song at EponaFest last time where we sampled the noise from the scooters outside the venue. Yeah, we tried to make a song.
Okay.
It's not finished. It's kind of stupid, but it was fun. In the Airbnb, we tried to do that after the convention. That's pretty funny.
I want to say something about this.
Yes.
AJ had to take a plane really early in the morning. And I had my plane the same day, but at night. So I had to stay 10 hours in the airport. And I spent 10 hours trying to master that song. And I've never managed to do it.
No! They say mastering is one of the most terrifying parts. Really? Okay. Okay.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so there was a time where I wrote a song. It got kind of left behind in the back burner for a little bit, but it was almost finished. I was waiting for like video assets for it, but then I wrote a song like a month later, and and usually I send it to this guy for like feedback, and he's like, "This sounds like the song you just wrote." I'm like, "No, it doesn't." Then I listen to it. I'm like, "Oh, I see what you're doing." But it was the same, which is like, you know what? It does sound very similar. Yeah, he did help me kind of move it around, and in the end, they're pretty different songs, but you know, it's my style.
Mind connection.
So I think my biggest struggle is I have so many stupid stories behind my songs, and I'm going to pick a couple short ones rather than having one big one. The first one I want to share is when Flawless Sparkle Moon was a thing, I thought it was kind of stupid, and everybody was making songs about her, and everybody was making art and thinking she was the coolest new thing, the hot new thing. So I made a song that was more of a mockery of that, saying like, she's perfect in every way, and it's super fast and catchy, and it's my most popular song. So backfire, but in a good way, and I thought that was amusing. The other story I'll share is in the game Fortnite, if you were familiar. Me and my friends had a stupid joke where we'd keep landing on that little train that would orbit the map, and we got to the point where we worshipped this train. The joke is we'd land on it and sit on it the whole game, even if it killed us. Like if it would go out of the map, we'd be like, the train provides, worship the train. So we wrote a song called Charge the Rails, and it's about the Fortnite train, and it's about ponies on the Fortnite train. Did you not know that? He drummed to that song at Pinkaboos Mayhem, and I guess he didn't know that was about Fortnite.
I guess now you know.
I opened the song with, you know what I do when I get home from work is I play a rousing game of Fortnite, and I called up my Fortnite friends. Are you serious? Oh my God.
Wow. These stories were incredible, guys. Now for my last... Oh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
It's okay.
I cannot see each and every one of you so well from here. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Go on, mate.
Well, I
Sorry.
was searching. It's well, I have many fun and like some traveling horror stories, but with trains and stuff. But more like what I'd like to share, like as a story, is that initially I used to learn classical music and. I used to have like auditions, exams, and concerts in classical piano, and it was like it's like you make a single mistake and like you get and it was a lot of pressure. And well, one fun thing about that is that like I used to learn music mostly by ear and not really with the scores. So I used to kind of like be a bit approximative or inventing things in the playing, and they didn't like that at all. Like they're like, no, this is not how it's written on the score. You have to read the score and all. And very often at exams, like I usually had very good results, but every time it was like, what you play is very beautiful, but it's really not what's in the score. But yeah. But then I that's the reason why I decided to stop performing at all, because I hated it. And then I started performing in Brony conventions last year, and it was just amazing. And yeah, that this community once again like brought me back to something that's important to me. Like, yeah.
This is so nice to hear. Thank you, and sorry again for the thing before.
No worries.
Now, for my last question, before we move to maybe the public has something to ask you. For my last question, today we are immersed in the era of streaming, in the era of you have to make numbers on Spotify, on all the platforms, or you are not a good musician and everything. Have you ever got terrible anxiety or other sensations because of these things people continue to say?
I would like to open this one.
Yes, please.
I have been called a pony music nepo baby. And if you don't know what a nepo baby is, the implication is that I'm only popular because I'm friends with popular people and they let me drum for their set. Which in a part is true, yeah. Oh, God, hold on, I'm losing my point. What was the question? Right, yeah.
The problem of numbers, and you have to have numbers.
And I think that a lot of these comments, they come from people who list themselves as like, oh, I'm just a D-class musician, or oh, I'm not like a real pony musician because I just do the renegade stage. Like, no, dude, like everyone who has like I've been like the Pony Music database run by a couple friends of mine. They classify me as a pony musician as far back as 2018 because I did like a couple drum covers of Equestria Girls songs. Everyone is a pony musician as soon as they put out that first drum cover, that first vocal cover, that first little jingle they write. Like you are a pony musician, and I think people have just fluctuated that value so much. Like. But my point of the nepo baby thing is, if you do it for fun, it will happen naturally. If your first passion is, I'm doing this for fun, I'm doing this because my friends are doing this, or I'm doing this because it interests me. It's my special interest. It's my hyperfixation. If you're doing it for those reasons, the rest comes naturally. The money and the fame and the girls.
Yeah, I mean, to basically add on to like what Thrak said, yeah, I mean, you should be doing this because you like it and you have appreciation for like for the show or for the like for the music. I won't lie and say that I've not been consumed sometimes by like the whole numbers game, and like it definitely. I mean, it's a nice feeling, like, but like that shouldn't be your only sole reason for it. Like if you like what you're doing and it clearly shows, then it will happen eventually. What Thread said.
It's okay to want to make money doing the thing you like, but the point of what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't focus on it, because if you do, your art will suffer and people can tell. Like if you think you're being smart and like, oh, I'll just make money and get popular. No, people will tell. Like it'll be very obvious they don't actually care and you have no real inspiration. So you should do it because you want it. What was that name you said?
No, I didn't say anything. I was breathing.
Really?
Okay, so I don't really have much to add onto this because these guys made a really good point. But I will say, I wouldn't say I'm consumed by the numbers I get because I don't really get all that much to begin with. But there are a couple times where I get duds where it's like 1,000 views in a week or so, which it's like, that's not good for me. Because usually I get 1,000 views in like a couple days, sometimes even less than a day if I'm lucky. But at the end of the day, I enjoy what I do, so it's not too big a deal.
Yeah, I do agree with what Blacken just said. So to be on the topic, I honestly never felt anxiety about music because I just do music for passion. For example, I just released a very new album. It was a lot of months of work and money spent and stuff. And it didn't get many views on YouTube and stuff. To be honest, I don't really care that much because it was a lot of passion. I'm very proud of what I did. And now I could share this with my friends and then for the world, for people who want. And but just because I did it, I'm really happy about it, and that's what counts most. Don't do it for the money, don't do it for the fame, do it for you, actually. Like, for example, I would say there is a topic, we expand more on it, but there is the AI coming with music. This is a big topic, but anyways, there is like AI is just, random music. There is not so much point on it, but because we are musicians and we are doing music with emotions, something we feel, then it's different. It's like, I would say sometimes it's even a therapy. Like doing music, when you feel bad, you're doing sad music and you feel better then. Yeah, and when you're happy, you do happy music and you feel even more happy about it. Like I just did a collab with Celica Soul Dream a few days ago, and I really felt happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not released yet, but
it's magical.
surprise.
You can put your whole emotions inside a wave or MP3 or whatever you use file, and it's forever there.
Exactly, it's graved into stone or into MP3.
No MP3.
Thank you.
I wanna just add something that
sure.
just because of what you said, that this is something one of my old band directors said that stuck with me forever, and it was just that, what is the difference between a marching band, or in our case, music creators, or just even a band that plays live, and a sports team? And it's the main difference is that at the end of the day, we take something home. We have that performance. We have that show that will live with us forever. I watch my old performances all the time, and I know this has nothing to do with the question, but I just think that everyone needs to hear that, just because it's so important to make the art for art. I spend a lot of time with Luck Rock, if you know him. He listens to every song that comes through the fandom. He is scrounging YouTube constantly, subscribed to everybody he's ever found. He keeps tabs on everywhere he can to listen to every song to the fandom, and we see the AI ones, and it is slop, and you will be blacklisted from a lot of conventions for it immediately. Just don't do it. Like, don't use it for, I need lyric ideas, I need to get a jingle. Like, no, like, ask a friend. Like, people will help you before you have to resort to robots, because soon no one will have jobs anymore. It's just how it is.
Thank you.
What was the question again? Sorry.
No problem. Don't worry. You're right. The problem that people always say, if you don't make numbers, you're not a good musician, and things like those.
Yeah. Well, I do music mostly because it brings me fun. It's therapeutic, and it just makes me feel good in general. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. But also at the same time, like I don't focus only on the numbers, but I kind of care about them a little bit, because it's like if you get some likes, for example, on YouTube, like it just shows that some people appreciate it. Like if you get like 1,000 views but 0 like, it's so indicative of something. So like when I see that I get likes or some nice comments, it makes me happy. But I'm not focusing on it. It's like the most important thing. And also, I think it's also okay. I also think it's okay to want also to make money from what we like to do, especially if we want to make a living out of it, which is my dream. Actually, I would like to make a living fully out of music. But with my personal project, I'm not focused a lot on numbers, because like most of my income comes from contracts that I get to do some. I do some video game musics, and I also get sometimes I produce some songs for some people. So that's where I get most income. So for my personal, for my Meaning Green project, it doesn't bother me a lot if it's not if it doesn't make a lot of numbers. I just get happy when I get some likes and some comments, some nice comments, and yeah.
That's so nice.
Well, I think among all people here, I am more on the smaller side of numbers. And what can I say is like it's completely okay to be anxious about the numbers. It's completely okay to do the music out of passion. Like I do music because I cannot not make music. It's literally like it never lets me go. And it's completely okay to be angry because you don't have you don't have numbers. It's completely okay to be frustrated about making money. Like all of the feelings are valid. So I don't want I don't really like that narrative that you need to make music only out of passion. You don't have to care about the numbers. You don't have to care about the money. I really don't. It seems like a little bit hypocritical to me, to be honest. Because I want to be completely honest.
Okay, no, it's perfectly fine.
So, like, if you're a musician and you feel like well, you're a musician with any number of numbers. If you're making music, you're a musician. That's it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Musicians make music. That's literally in the name. It's not about the numbers. It's not about the following. It's not about the money. But if you are frustrated about these things, it's totally valid and normal. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
I just want to add that, like following what Velvet said, like we all put a lot of ourselves in what we create, and then it's totally normal that we appreciate when it gets some attention, whether it's big or small. But it's important to all of us, I think.
Small attention is still attention, so I appreciate everything.
I do agree with everything that was said, but for me, when I started making music, it was mainly to my only way to put my emotions out, like let it out of my brain. But then I wanted to actually live from music in today's world, and it's really hard to live off music. So I get anxious nowadays. I am always anxious about numbers because I want to make it out of the hood. I want to get out of my parents' place. I just want to be able to live my life out of my music. So the numbers kind of give anxiety because, music is a passion. Music is a hobby. Music can be anything, but it can also be a job. And that if you want to make music, I'm not saying I don't want to make music without passion, obviously, but if you want to make what you like, if you want to work in the field you like, you will definitely have some things that will make you sad or anxious and all that. So it's important, and to jump on what you said, I had lost my words.
Don't worry.
Yeah. I lost it. It's fine.
It's
fine.
okay, 12. Don't worry. I would love to thank you all, really. Sadly, we don't have time for questions from the public because we are a bit late. But really, thank you for being here, for staying here at EponaFest. And plus, I would really like to thank you for being real, for being yourselves, and for doing what you like the most. Thank you. A big applause for these incredible and talented musicians here. Thank you very much. And everyone, see you at the charity auction. You don't want to miss it. See ya.
All I knew was hunger. All I needed was to keep my kind alive. But any small bit less than absolute excess was enough to drive a god to genocide.
Fall of one, prior to undefeated, it's all been done. You set the table and all of Eden. You lose your stand, you can't embody or reprimand. You run and hide, you're underhanded, you undermine. That understanding wasn't worth your time. Cause
you don't know the kind of bake that leaves you full of holes. Ground falls away beneath you. By void consumed, nothing to lose. Cold desire burns anew. I just wanna see you
back, and it's almost like you mean it. But I don't care what you're teaching, I don't need it, cause
you don't know the kind of lake that leaves you full of holes. Ground falls away beneath you, vibe working till nothing to lose. Your desire burns anew, I just wanna see you hurt the way I do.
这是否一生编剧？可是我决定，相信我只能走出过去。
Bug Squad.
Bar from the back of the
Dear passengers, the train named Ponies at Dawn will be arriving shortly at the Survivor station. Please make sure not to leave any belongings behind and stand behind the yellow safety line. We kindly ask you to allow passengers to disembark before board. Thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome to Limelight. We're getting hot.
Dear passengers, we regret to inform that the train departure has to be delayed due to other trains crossing over the station. We apologize for any inconvenience and appreciate your understanding. will arrive at the Limelight train station. Before you disembark, please check your belongings and make sure not to leave them behind. Thank you for using our services, and see you on the next trip.
morning, I wake up inside, pull off a cigarette and look at the sky. Go straight through the left or go back and right. Enjoy this whatever you like. Now I don't wanna waste my life to something that used to be mine. I don't wanna see you just a passing by. Do you believe I will try to fix our dream? What I can see, you will catch the speed of light. Morning, I wake up inside, pull up a cigarette and look at the sky. Go straight to the left or go back to right. Enjoy this whatever you like. Now I don't wanna waste my life to something that used to be mine. I don't wanna see you just a passing by. Do you believe I will try to fix our dream? What I can see, you will catch the
thank you so much for being here for this very important panel, where our host will talk about the importance of bees and why are they so important for our ecosystem, and a little bit about the problems that we are creating for them with our activities. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yes, I can get to introduce myself.
Yes.
It's okay if you stop it now?
Yeah, I will leave in a moment. Yeah, if you're.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matteo Ballardini, and I have a Hanaka is Mr. Clock. You can find my website is tuetera.com, where you can see what exactly I did. I'm a beekeeper from 18 years, and I go to make the lesson for everyone who want to be close to the world of the bees. The first thing that I say when you are just close to the bees is like when you go to make a snorkeling. You know, you put a mask, okay? And you go up under the water. This is a new world for you, all right? Because you never see what happened under the sea. And this is the same things for when you are into the apiary with the bees, when you are just in front of the hive and every other thing. Are you happy? Okay, I'm happy. Anyway, what is the importance of the bees? Everyone knows what Mr. Einstein goes to say. If the bees goes to die, after 3 years, everyone dies. Every human race go to die. Not the Pokemon, no, not the pony. Yes, Pokemon pony is the same for me. Anyway, sorry. I know only, Donald Duck and some other cartoon. Anyway, this is the most important things. Why? We have to stay close to the bees. And we do not have any afraid when the bees arrive, just to look in our hand or to, to touch our fruits on the table and other. Because the bees are not interested from you, but are interested for all the sugar part of the planets, like absolutely the nectar of the flowers. Anyway, what I would like to explain to you today is not especially the importance of the bees, because I think you know. If, other way, you have some question, I must be happy you make me a question, because if I go to speak for another half an hour, probably you sleep. And then if, yes, they're sleeping at the lesson. And if, other way, you have some question, it's much more better because we go to, interactive, my suggestion, it's perfect. Another thing is important is how many hectoliter of insecticide they sell major, like Bayer and Bayer, like Monsanto, like China Chem. This is really unbelievable. In a study of the Kodakons in Italy, they looking on the salad 60 million hectoliter of insecticide. And this is a shame for me. Why? Because if you are the director of a big shop, like, for example, like Leroy Merlin or Brico or something other shop, big shop, when you ask to your management to be ask to him to be absolutely safe for the formation, you know, for put the products on the dock and every other things, that you must to ask to him if someone arrive and say, where is the spray for the insecticide for the bee, the French insecticide, because I have some wasp in my house. Wasp and bees are totally different. Wasp in America called yellow jacket because the target, so the dress of the wasp are really yellow and really black. In the same of on the contrary, sorry, the dress of the bees are brown and black. And then is this, I don't want the Monsanto to go down, I don't want the Chinachem go down, fall down, no. I want to only ask the people, he comes to the shop to show exactly what is the insect you have found at your home. I say, this is the insect, I found it. And then if the people recognize this is a bee, this is the wasp, if it's a wasp, that is selling the product, right? You understand what I mean? If recognize is it a bee, he do not sell the products. And they have to call a beekeeper. You understand? You're sure you understand? Okay. Why I told this? Because every year I'm going to catch the bees in many parts of the city, in front of the church, just close to the house, the cars, many strategic place where they're going to recover it, because they totally understand this small insect, how is much more better a vase of flower of your mother than an hectare of corn in the field, because you know the corn are protected with neonicotinoid, and then they could go to kill the bees. But do not forget, bees are on this planet belong for 40 milioni, non so dirlo, for 40 million year in the heart. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable, because just when I touched one of them, I see her. He looking, and he knows what is the dinosaur. He just looking all of the inside of this earth. You understand? Okay. Then we are totally madness. All the beekeepers are crazy. I'm the first. You know why? Because when it becomes the summer, you put off your dress, right? You put off your pullover, you put off your shoes, Yeah. Yeah.
Australia is quite far away, but how is it with Italy or Europe? Do you have something similar that it's concerning for the bee swarm?
It's absolutely the same in all the part of the world, apart the place where we calling Middle Orient, like Nepal or somewhere there. What? Why? I got to explain you. It's simple. You see the beehive there in wood, okay, and we need to conserve the bees inside of this small wooden box. But normally in the nature, going under the trees, going inside the cavity of the trees, going in some other part. And this is another shame of the human race who decide to go to containing in this box. Is this the reason why they become many virus, the varroa, the many other things? And we are almost really afraid for all the hives. And I want to be very, very clear, because at the end of the last autumn, 2024, I've got like 120 hive, but 120 hive. But when they come outside of the winter, I spoke in the end of the autumn, it's like something in the end, so in the middle of October, okay? When I going to open the hive at the 1st of February, March, it died me, and it remained at me only 40 hives, no more. And this is the reason why. But I didn't go inside with some acid oxalic, acid, so because many people play with the acid, and that for me isn't necessary to do that. Question? Yeah. Up your voice, because I'm very old and I didn't.
Is it true if all these died depends on the humankind was begun between 3 years?
Yes, it's true. This is what Einstein says. The first things I told before. If the bee died, they remain at us only 3 years and stop, nothing else. Okay, that's please. Yeah, it's wonderful.
But why there is also artificial honey? So.
Oh, lady, this is a nice question. Here in Italy, we import like 3,000 tons of honey from China, and only at the, how can I say, analysis from C40, we can understand if it's original honey or not. But now this analysis is so expensive. Italy doesn't export, but on the contrary, bought from Australia one of the most important honey is honey of, what's the name? Manuka.